I am Caroline, and my son is Luke. And Luke is 21 years old. He's soon to be 22 years old. Luke is a very calm, steady, kind, thoughtful, generous young man. Well, Luke was a very kind of easy baby. He cried, but his cry was kind of this soft, little, gentle cry, and he was very kind of non-verbally connected. And so it really wasn't until he was maybe like 18 months old and I started taking him to like groups where kids would play together or see him interacting, and I noticed that he was fully present, but the other kids were having a lot more verbal interaction. And so I thought, well, I took him to the pediatrician, and the pediatrician said, I wouldn't worry too much about this. I think, it's fine. Everything else looks good. And then I took him to the pediatrician again, and he said, well, if you're nervous about this, I can refer you to someone. So he referred me to someone, and the person really wanted to put a program right into place and suggested, like, even when you get home, don't give Luke anything unless he can verbalize that he wants it. And I thought, oh, this is relationally going to be a disaster. I can't do something like that. And I felt very uncomfortable because I felt like I was going to go against what someone who had been referred and was a professional was recommending, and I didn't know much about it. And so I started really researching and reading, and that's how I came across the camaradas. When he saw them, even the interaction that they had with him was much more typical of the way Luke interacted. And so I immediately had this feeling like, oh, someone's getting him, they're getting this. And I felt like someone could articulate for me the experiences that I was having. And I feel really fortunate that that happened so early on, because part of the mission became knowing, okay, I don't have to do these things that I think might be detrimental, or these things that I think aren't what we should be spending our time on. It's so hard when it seems like the whole world is going in one direction. You really do think, how could so many thoughtful, smart, intelligent, good people be telling me something that totally doesn't match my experience or what I want to do? And a lot of times you can't make yourself do it anyway, but you can go through a lot of angst and agony that you're not doing the things that maybe someone else is doing. And if I could go back, I would like not to do that. The Late TALKER Foundation helped me to be able to see that my perceptions about Luke and who he was and what he needed were in fact not accurate, but maybe perceptive. Like, I was recognizing the reality of something. So it served always as a touchstone navigating through to have a place and have people who I knew I could go to when I was bumping up against unreality, when I was bumping up against, and to have the courage to actually act on that. I can't put into words how invaluable it's been to me to have someone track with you over time, over an extended period of time. Sometimes you can't see the progress yourself over the 20 years. I can remember even looking at, okay, these are the standards, this is how much progress has been made. I really need to make more progress in this period of time. And Mary saying to me, you have all the time in the world. And me thinking, no, I don't have all the time in the world. And to have someone long-term providing you with perspective, having someone long-term who is flexible enough to navigate the changes in life with you, to have someone looking at each person as an individual, So they don't have an agenda, and these are the protocol we have to offer, and here's the program, and now do this. Instead, to have people who are helping you think it through and trusting that you will have the ability to put something in place that's useful and supporting you in that. I don't know where else you would ever find that. So I remember when Luke was maybe 3 years old, and we had gone on like a little 2-week vacation. We were staying in this little house at the beach, and so there was a boardwalk, and every morning we would go out on the boardwalk and we'd walk up and down the boardwalk, and it took a long time to do this walk. Like, it would take us like an hour to do the walk because he would see everything. He would stop and look. He would point things out. He was very patient about like watching something for a while. He noticed the sounds. He noticed even, he would comment on things that I didn't see at all. And so I enjoyed these walks so much. One morning he went and did something with his dad, and I went on the walk by myself. And I walked up the boardwalk and I walked back down, and I was done with this walk in like 20 minutes. And I thought, what just happened? Like, I didn't enjoy the walk in the same way at all. And then I realized, well, I wasn't really there for it. I was in my head. I was thinking about things. I was thinking about, okay, I need, when I get here, and then when I get back, I'll do this. And he, when he goes on the walk, is on the walk. He's fully present on the walk. The walk is the thing we're doing right now. And it's very enjoyable. And I think if I could go back, I would look at what's right in front of me right now today, and I wouldn't project out into the future. I would be right here, right now with this great person doing this thing. And I don't think it was helpful, all the trying to meet the standards or even the stuff having to do with like, by this time, Luke should be doing this. And by this time, no, he was on his walk, going down his path, in his way, and it was my job to accompany him and to facilitate it and to help him have the best walk he could have, and not have some idea of what the walk is supposed to look like or what it's supposed to be, and just completely miss the walk in the process. If you notice that your child is developing differently and they're a late talker, I think I would say, and this is easy to say, and it's an entirely different thing to do, but I think I would say, take your time and don't panic and don't make a lot of assumptions about what this means. Because I think it's great to be proactive. I think it's great to look for help. I think it's incredibly important to know what not to do and not to do it because you're being told to do it or that's what everyone else is doing. Look at the person in front of you and look at the needs of the person in front of you. But don't make assumptions about what this means long term. Don't project into the future about what the consequences of this are going to be, because you don't know. And if you could see your child in 10 years, or you could see your child in 15 years, the person they are, you could not predict. The things about them that you admire and you respect and you love, and they have qualities that you don't have that you wish you did have, are not based on their language use. And so whatever you're imagining is not the reality. So I guess that goes back to, like, as much as possible, be there in the situation that you're in that moment, and trust that this will all unfold in a way that you can't imagine. And that maybe that's really, I can remember one time saying to Mary, well, I just don't know if this is the right thing that I'm doing. I really just don't know. And she said, you don't know that yet? And I thought, no, I don't. And if I could hand that to someone else, if I could hand that to them and say, don't do that thing of creating anxiety and stress and angst for no reason, because you don't know. how it's going to unfold, and the way that it does unfold may be something you wouldn't imagine and that you will like a lot.